everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Paris and I'm the author of the Mageye trilogy. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys kind of an inside look at some of the writing tools I use every day. Now, basically notebooks, pens, we all use them. There's only so many ways you can use them. To make this video, interesting, make it worth your while, I'm going to be showing you guys how I use them by giving you guys a bit of a sneak peek inside of some of my Mageye notebooks. My top 3 writing tools that I use on a daily basis are 1, my laptop. Obviously, that's where most of, the magic happens. Number 2 is probably pens. I'm obsessed with them. If I can find a way to utilize a pen in my daily basis, I will. Number 3 is notebooks. Now, this notebook right here, it has this ugly, gunk stuff on it from a sticker. It has a Sharpie mark here. I don't know what this stain is. It's a little beat up around the edges, but it's very special. It's my Mageye notebook. For a very long time, I was a hardcore pantser to the absolute extreme. Now, I still am mainly a pantser, but I think you could probably categorize me as a planter now. The last 2 side whips I've worked on, I have worked on an outline first, and yes, I admit, the outline does help. It does. Now, that doesn't mean I don't have lines in the outline that are like, oh, I don't really know what happens here, some fight happens, or this person gets hurt with no details. My pantser side of me still has to figure that out for herself when she gets there. But you get the point. I'm starting to plot a little more. Most of what's in this is not actual, plotting. It's more so me thinking out loud, which is technically plotting. I have things in this notebook that are basically defining certain characters. I have in the beginning when I first started creating the Volcaniacs. I have stuff like that on them. If I flip a little further, I have, this drawing of a Woven Guard member. I have, let's see what else I have in here. I have things that are just ideas for powers in the future to add to different Mageyes. I have a raw version of book 3's prologue that I wrote actually before I even finished drafting book 1. See, this notebook, it's very messy. It's all over the place. This is normal, okay? Let's, accept the standard messy notebooks. Your outline doesn't need to look like chapter 1 and then a bunch of bullets, chapter 2. It can look like that, but it can also look like, I don't really know. This is a pros and cons list of what I could do in this chapter, because yes, I have a pros and cons list in here as well. I don't typically draft or actually write or edit by hand. I do all of that on my laptop. What I use my notebooks for is some plotting, more recently I've been doing some actual plotting for it. But for the most part, it's me thinking out loud. It's thinking through my ideas. And this can sometimes be hard and kind of awkward to do. I think because when you're writing by hand, there's no backspace. What you've written by hand, it's there, even if it's bad. And to some degree, that might feel a little bit like it's exposing you in a way. This is how I used to feel doing it. I don't really feel that way anymore. I just write it out. If it's bad, if I misspell something, I scribble it out, even though I write in pen. It's messy. It's supposed to look messy because the writing process is not a super neat process. That being said, what I'm doing in these notebooks is I'm thinking out loud. I'm writing through ideas in my head. I can't share you guys with this page with you guys, but it says, should blank be good or bad? And I wrote a pros and cons list on if I wanted this character to be good or bad. A literal pros and cons list. Pros on one side, cons on the other. That's how I decided the fate of this character. You can do that too. I also have my old versions of ideas. For the title, I have this page, what and why do the Volcaniacs want Rose for? Thinking through their process. When it comes to getting through an idea that I'm stuck with or figuring out the answer to something, I like to write a question by hand and I like to answer it by hand as well. For me personally, this kind of gets my idea juices flowing more. It helps me out because something about just connecting to the pen and paper makes it a lot easier than when I've done it on my laptop. I struggle with it a little more. So this is my favorite use of notebooks is just filling them up with random stuff. You can see there's a bunch of random things. There's things here I completely scrapped, things here that maybe I'll go back to, things here that I, no longer like. I have an idea on what I need to do for the timeline of Mageye 3. I need to be careful with what I'm flashing because on this page right here that I'm covering are book title ideas for book 3. This is another rather beat up looking notebook that I use on a fairly regular basis. And for this one, it is all of my business ideas. I have my Mageye launch plans here that I wrote in February 2022. I have formatting tips when I was learning how to format, like my notes from watching videos. I have my Mageye publishing timeline, which you guys can see because for obvious reasons, it's been said and done. There's, my big list of everything I needed to do before I published the Mageye. There's smaller steps broken down here. This is, again, me connecting to the pen and paper to get the ideas flowing, to figure everything out. Because when I type it up on my laptop, I honestly end up kind of forgetting about the document. Whereas when I have this notebook here, it just kind of helps me stay connected to it and to make sense of everything. We're still on fairly basic writing tools that, everybody uses. And again, it's, there's only so many ways you can use them. I think sometimes seeing how other people use them and seeing them being actually utilized can help figure out how you want to use them. I know I've seen people, I've started stolen this idea a bit, is when I'm editing, I put all of them in like little boxes, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, and I kind of color them in. I might be able to find that. Let me see if I can find it. I haven't opened this binder in months, and I just found my original outline for the third book in the Mageye trilogy, and it has like drawings on it and everything. I'm actually gonna, hold on. I'm gonna take that out because the outline of book 3 is very, very important, and it's confusing. It takes place fast. Can't tell you how fast, but let me tell you, the book is done. Not, page-wise, it's pretty long. It's longer than book 3, but timeline-wise, it's pretty fast. I can't find what I'm looking for, but I'm talking about, I'll draw you guys a diagram. 1, 2, 3. Don't remember who I saw at first do this first, but when I finished chapter 1, I color it out. When I finished chapter 2, I color it out. It helps organize things, and that's like, I saw somebody else utilizing that idea, and now I utilize it. For anyone on the editing or proofreading stage, specifically if you're using a hard copy to do this, boy, have I have the writing tool for you. Now, I don't know how all of you guys feel about annotating. I don't like writing in my books. I love reading other people's annotations when I've seen people share them. Some of you guys have shared annotations you've made in the Mageye and Illusion of Fear, and I love reading them. I personally get like so scared writing in my books, which is where these handy dandy little things come in. These are like translucent sticky notes. So I don't know how well they're looking translucent on camera. I'm going to show you guys an example in a minute. But basically you can peel this off, stick it on the page and write in it, and then you can peel it off because it's a sticky note. So you don't actually vandalize your book. They also lie flat and they're not as thick as regular sticky notes. So I think that they are very easy. I'm obsessed with them. I used, I think, over 200 of them when I was proofreading Illusion of Fear a few weeks before publishing. So these are a huge, huge asset and help, which is why I have so many of them. They were also on sale on clearance at Office Max / Office Depot. They were like 24 cents each. Check it out. They might still have more. Once they clearance something, it's not coming back, but you can get them on Amazon. You look up translucent or see-through sticky notes, you will get results, and they're honestly all good prices with big bundles for like $6. So check it out. Here is my proof copy of Illusion of Fear, and it's very, very full of annotations, notes to self. If it's sticking out the top, it's a widow and orphan line. If it's, in the middle, it's kind of just a grammar correction, or I want to delete something, or I have an idea, or I'm questioning something in here. I'm going to try to show you guys some of it in action, which means I'll be flashing pages in my book, so I gotta be careful. Okay, here's what's going on here. Can you at least try it? I might have an idea, but it depends on if this works or not. Oh my gosh, yes, I can share this page. See this line right here? I know it's obviously backwards. I circled, the issue and I put a question in it. Just little things like that. Some of them are questions right here. If they leave at midnight and get there at noon, that is 12 hours, 30 miles in 12 hours, question mark. I'm questioning myself on certain things. I'm changing here a word from added to whispered. Just little things like that that I could have written in the book itself, but because I'm nervous about actually annotating, I use my little sticky notes. The goal of this video is really to just show you guys how I personally use basic writing tools. As I mentioned a couple times, there's only so many ways to use a notebook. It's pretty straightforward, but simultaneously the way you organize the actual contents of your outline, whether it's using bullet points, whether it's using different color pens for different aspects of the book, if it's using keywords for yourself, seeing other people utilize that can help you realize, oh, that's actually an easier way to do that. An example of that is when I plotted ROTM last, I think I plotted it in October. Whenever I switched to a different chapter with a different point of view, I wrote the character's name in red, whereas I wrote the actual outline in a navy blue. So it's at a glance. I know whenever a new chapter starts inside of it, even if a chapter itself has multiple paragraphs, makes it easier to organize, and seeing that utilized in action makes it easier to do yourself, and it gives you some new ideas. I also, before I end this video, I want to hype up a friend of mine because it is publishing day for, I think his account handle on Instagram is Diener Content. Daughter of Axiom is released today, March 31st. Although he revealed last night, hit the publishing button a few days ago, meaning it's fully available. You can head on over to Amazon right now, look up Daughter of Axiom by Mike Diener, and you will get results. So get yourself a copy of that. I was honored to be able to beta read the book. And let me tell you, it is amazing. It has an amazing character cast. It has an awesome plot. It ends on a good note, as in it makes you want the next book really badly. So definitely recommend getting your hands on Daughter of Axiom. Also, the cover of that book, I cannot wait to have it on my shelf. You guys know by now, I'm obsessed with pretty covers. Daughter of Axiom has one of the most gorgeous fantasy covers I've ever seen. I'm not even kidding. Look it up on Amazon. Hit the purchase now, buy now, whatever the button says. Buy the book, buy 10 copies of the book. Get yourself a copy of Daughter of Axiom. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for purchasing Diener's book. I'm pre-thanking you guys there, guilt-tripping you into buying it. Whatever time it is, have a great rest of your morning, evening, night. Have a great day.